Welcome back to Coffee Talk and Common Sense. This week, politics feel unreal. Okay? There's President Trump posting the AI Jesus picture. A sitting congressman was resigning over, really serious allegations. And then the military operation in Iran that honestly, hey, America is winning. America is on top. And I'm ready to get into everything, but I'm cutting through all of it, okay? I haven't made videos because there's just so much to get into. But I felt like this was a good time to break it down. Don't you guys feel like so many things are happening? I'm like, why is so much happening at once? And it's crazy because everything will happen at once. So like, just give me a second to breathe a minute. Um, all right, so let's talk about the Trump Jesus AI picture. So on Truth Social, President Trump posted a picture that kind of depicted him as Jesus. What he said was, "This is just a picture that's me as a doctor." Do I believe him? Listen, I believe that he thought that it was a healer of some sort. I do, for me, we saw the glowing hands, we saw the healing. But, the one thing that set it apart was the American flag because, like, Jesus has nothing to do with the American flag. I know that, let me back up. America has always been Christian values, like all the things, and we've always been a Christian country. That's true. For me, though, the backlash comes because this would be considered blasphemy. And I understand from, like, religious people that could be what, you know, him depicting himself as Jesus, that could be a problem. And it is a problem. For me, though, have we not knew President Trump, like, have we not understood President Trump for years and years and years? I have, and I know that what he posts on through social sometimes is just like post after post after post, and some things that he believes, and then some things that are just kind of memes. I think he thought that this was just like a silly meme. It's not. It's he should have never posted it. Let me start off with that. I understand that, and I've said it time and again. For me, this is not the most exciting topic that I would want to talk about. This is not the most exciting topic that I would want to spend my time talking about. It's not fun. It's not something that I really, again, is it trolling or is it a belief system? You and I both know that President Trump is the king of trolls. Okay? So do I think that there was any ill intention towards what he did? I don't think that there was ill intention, no. Is it inappropriate? Absolutely. Is it offensive? Yeah, it could be. I think we have a separation of church and state for a reason. Do I think, again, back to the original point, him as a doctor? Well, what do doctors do? They heal people. Well, depends on what you believe. Do I think that he really thought that this was like an innocent post? Absolutely. This is why, like, I went on TikTok live today and it was like the number one thing that people were talking about. The number one. And it's the number one question that I got. So if you don't understand, like, deflection and a distraction, I think this was a distraction about a lot of things. Not even from President Trump's point of view, but from the fans and the MAGA point of view. I think this was like a big distraction when it comes to some things that we have going on. Meaning some of the things and the controversies around like Iran and like all the things. And I just think there's better things that we could be talking about. And again, I'm not Megyn Kelly, I'm not Candace, I'm not Tucker, so I actually do believe that this president is the best president we've ever had and ever will have, probably, at least in my lifetime. Yeah, I had to put it out there because I haven't talked about it because it's not fun for me to talk about. It's really not. It's not even something that I wanted to talk about, but I feel like it's like something that I just had to bring up because I think it's so funny that we're actually having this conversation in 2026 when we know that President Trump is the master troll. I'm sorry, he really is. Um, let's talk about Eric Swalwell. Now, Eric Swalwell, he did resign from Congress, and these were after, okay, there were sexual assault allegations from 2018 that resurfaced. And, you know, some of the accuser claims were drugging and unfortunately rape. Um, it was an investigation opened by the LA County, you know, sheriff. And I think here's the thing. And I'm going to round, and I hate when liberals do this, so I'm going to do this very lightly. I'm going to round about to Donald Trump really quick. One of the comments that I get a lot is like, how can you support a pedophile, or how can you support a rapist, or how can you support this? Do you guys really think that somebody who are those things could become president of the in 2026, become president of the United States? No, because men that are guilty drop out, resign, and get fired. And if you don't think that that is the truth, we just saw it with Eric Swalwell. See, so this is a big deal. This is a big deal because this is a person who, he was a major contender in the Democratic Party. He really was. You know, Harry Sisson, there was a lot of people who defended him, not defended his actions by, you know, the new allegations, but defended him as in like, oh, he's better than this person, or he's better than this person. And, you know, these are people that really thought that he was, you know, really great for the country in Congress. And no, the Democrat Party is not consistent in the way that they deal with people who have allegations against them. Let me tell you why. He did not get nearly as much pressure as Donald Trump. Okay? These allegations against Eric Swalwell were literally cold, hard facts, and he did not get treated nearly as horrible as President Trump does. Now, again, I hate when liberals bring up Trump in every scenario, but I feel like this fits in the scenario of the comments that I personally get too. And it's, again, the questions of how do you vote for him because of this, and how do you vote for him? Listen, if somebody, I don't care if you're running for Congress, I don't care if you're running for governor, I don't care if you're running for president, I don't care whether you're running for a political office at all, or you're just a postman down the street, okay? You should be held accountable for your actions that are true and fact. Not the allegations that Sally Sue brought up because she knows you got billions of dollars in your account, and that she wants a piece of it. Okay. My question is, do both parties handle scandals the same way? Absolutely. We saw Alla Paulina, Alla Paula Luna, I forget how to say her name, from Florida, and we saw her put the same, emphasis on people and in Congress, and it's just, when do we understand that the Republican Party is the party of morals and the Democrat Party is the party of loyalty? That's the question. What we're seeing right now is the Republican Party, it's not broken because we all have conservative values, so I wouldn't call it broken. I really wouldn't. Do I think that some people jump ship from MAGA? Yeah, that's apparent, and that's happening, and it's something that I think we should take very seriously rather than try to take, but again, I think we should really weigh our options, especially right now. We have so many things going on with Iran and all the things, but really right now we should be loving our country even more, supporting our country even more. I don't care. Listen, again, I'll say it like I said it. I say it again. If Joe Biden was in office and he took these strikes against Iran and he was competent enough to take these strikes against Iran, I would be supporting President Biden. Absolutely. Why? Because this is something that we have been talking about forever and ever and ever and ever, that Iran and the Middle East are a problem. Okay? We've been saying this. This is not new. This is not new, right? So when people say, and that's enough about Eric Swalwell. I mean, he's a disgusting pig, and I don't want anything to do with him. I don't want to even talk about it anymore. That's enough. We're going on to Iran now. You know, it's funny because if any other president was to bring up, and they have, Obama has, I know Hillary Clinton wasn't president because she lost, but Hillary Clinton's brought it up. There's people that have Biden brought it up. Iran has been saying death to America for a very long time. Okay? The Islamic regime has been saying it for a very long time. This is not new. So when you try to tell me that Donald Trump is starting a new war and then say, well, Daniel, what about when he said no new wars? This is not new. Not new. This is something that we're taking action. Okay? This is the president that likes to disrupt. Okay? He disrupted the stock market. He disrupted Iran. He disrupted DEI. He disrupts things. Okay? I call him the disruptor in chief. Why? Because it's what has to happen. China, and I am not a foreign policy expert. This is not what I care about. I don't care about other countries, honestly. I care about being allies with other countries, sure. But, to be talking about Gaza and Iran and all these other places, I don't want to spend my time talking about them. Although, I have, my own opinions. I'm just not an expert on foreign policy, but what I can tell you is, and what we all know to be true, is that China has been controlling a lot of things for a long time. Way before President Trump even came about. So it's a problem, and we got to fix it. So as of today, all right, the blockade went into effect. All right, so what does that do, right? So when we blockade and we block the Strait of Hormuz, what happens is that cuts off, instead of bombing a whole entire civilization like President Trump said on Easter, which you guys won't ever let us live down because we know that it happened and we talk about it too. What happened is, when you make a blockade, you're blocking a lot of their economic success, okay? There should be no economic success unless Iran wants to come to the table and tell us that they're never going to acquire a nuclear weapon. They have not done that, okay? J.D. Vance, listen, this has never happened in the history of America, a very high official going to Pakistan to get some kind of a deal going, all right? Never happened. Never happened. Iran, listen, there's some things that I think America will, say that, we'll give them leadway here, we'll do a little here, what we're not going to give leadway with, this terroristic regime can never have a nuclear weapon. It will be a problem. It is a problem. That's something they have to agree with. And if they're not ready, well, then you got something going to you. Okay? The oil markets in Iran, I mean, honestly, they're coming to the United States for oil. Again, listen, this is something that President Trump has said before. We don't need Iranian oil, okay? We don't need it. We have our own. We're good. Does it disrupt the global market in the sense of, do prices go up for gas? Absolutely. Absolutely. It's something that President Trump was he's very honest about, right? It's something that he brought up in a sense of he brought it up before you could even ask him type of thing. And he said, yo, like, it's going to be up for a little while. Give me a minute. Let's figure out this Iran situation. It'll go back down. Give me a minute. Now, if this was a Democratic or a liberal president, they would have said, oh, no, everything's going to be okay. Everything's going to be all right. Oh, yeah. Oh, affordability. They talk about affordability. They care about affordability. They don't care. They don't care about this country. They are the biggest domestic terrorists, and I will say it until I'm blue in the face. That's why I have a little bit of a problem when Alex Jones, Megyn Kelly, Candace Owens, I have a problem with these people when they say things like that because they know they have conservative ideals. They just don't want to bring it to the forefront on the sense of, President Trump is the president. You cannot like somebody, you can despise somebody, especially in political sphere. But you can say that you love America and you have conservative ideals because, again, we do, right? I just don't like that. We're coming to a point of, well, you have to be MAGA if you're conservative, or you have to be this if you're conservative. The thing about conservatism and Republican, because listen, I know that people have different names for it. I'm conservative. I'm a constitutional this. I'm a da-ba-ba-ba, and I get it. I'm down for it. All of it, right? I'd rather just put a blanket statement on it and just call myself a Republican because that's what I am. That's what I vote. That's what I'm registered to vote, and that's it. I'm not sitting here saying I'm this, I'm that. No. I'm Republican at the end of the day, and that's how it's gonna stay. I don't care about Israel. I don't care about this one and that one over here. I really don't care. It doesn't make sense to keep putting emphasis on these places when at the end of the day, all we really care about, especially in the conservative movement, is America. If that's not apparent to you, Megyn Kelly, Tucker, Alex, if at this point you see what the military operations are doing, and if you cannot link that this is America first, and Marjorie Taylor Greene, if you can't tell us that this is America first now, then you have some splaining to do, because honestly, I know that this, presents other kind of conflict. I understand even when people say, oh, well, Daniel, Israel has a lot of impact on it, and I get it. I understand where you're coming from. I don't understand, though, when I ask the question of what would you like to do about Israel? When I ask that question, it seems that everybody just forgot how to answer questions. And it seems like when I ask that question, it goes into, well, we would be okay with death and destruction when it comes to Israel because that's what they did. So two wrongs don't make a right, my friend. Okay? They are our ally. It is what it is, whether you like it or I like it or not. They are our ally. If they continue to give us intelligence and they continue to do things, I don't think we should be spending, billions of dollars on one country, but unless it's ours. But however, I do think we have to look at the bigger picture. I do. And my take on Israel is, I know that a lot of people will say that Israel has a lot of dominance and they have a lot of say over American politics. I haven't went down that rabbit hole. I don't agree, but I also am not educated enough to tell you if they have the dominance. But from what I see and from what I research right now is, I think we all know, okay, that President Trump is going to call the shots. America is the hottest country. And I'm not just saying that because it's a talking point. I'm saying it because it's true. It's true. Now, you guys, I put on my Instagram to ask me some questions, and anything goes. You guys asked me some questions on Instagram. I'm going to get to them now. Thank you guys for asking your questions. Annalisa, I love you, first of all. Okay? Will I ever get the honor of meeting you one day? First of all, the honor is all mine. And hopefully, I'm thinking of some things where I can go to different states and different cities and see what we can do politically, especially with the midterms. I'm seeing what we can do. I'm sure there's something that I can do. I feel like I have to use my platform as much as I can, especially in the political sense, because um, it's it's gonna be it's gonna be a tight midterm. I do. I think we're gonna see some successes around Republican and turning the country red again and deep red, because that's the common sense party. But I love you. You are fantastic. So pretty. And we've been following each other for a long time. I love you. So one day we have to get lunch or something. Maria says, you look great. Thank you, Maria. Thank you. As of today, I am 30 pounds down. I can't believe it. I mean, I can believe it because, I've been putting in the work, but 30 pounds, that's a lot. Thank you so much. Devin says, if you had the chance to say something to yourself, what would you say? I'm beginning to think that you are meaning younger self. Stay true to yourself. Life is short, so make the best of what you can with the cards that you were dealt. Don't ever get into the victim mindset. It's not good for anybody. It's not good for, especially a young gay boy. Once you are in that victim mindset, it's hard to get out unless you have the willpower to. I think it comes down to skill or will. The skill is how to deal with people. The will is to not be sucked into a trap of victim mentality. Because I was there. At one point. I think my younger self, I lost my mom very, very early on. I was 6 years old when she passed away. So, you start to realize that people ain't worth your time that are there to not be loyal, be untrustworthy, not be honest, not have your best interest. These people mean nothing. When you lose the rock, everything else doesn't matter. These friends that are so-called friends but will stab you in the back at any time, they don't matter. These boyfriends that you put so many emphasis on, they don't matter. These relationships that you're building that are just falling apart and you want them so bad, they don't matter. Okay? I will give people the red carpet to leave my life that I don't think have my best interest at heart. If you don't have my best interest and you're not a true friend and you're not loyal, you can leave, and I will give you the red carpet and make sure that your shoes are shined on the way out, because I have no time for you or your nonsense. When you lose the rock, your mother who carried you for 9 friggin' months, you think I care what Sally Sue has to say about me? No, not happening. Not happening. So in long story short, I would tell my younger self, stay true to you, but keep it consistent. KR Hoop says, thank you for saying there's only 2 genders. We all appreciate and love you. First of all, thank you. It's not that I'm saying that there's 2 genders. It's that that's what, that's just reality. There's only 2 genders. And period. I think you need someone like me to actually say it and to actually be truthful, because a lot of people are phonies these days. A lot of people will tell you, well, it's a safe space for genders and there's more than 2 genders. Where are all these genders at? Because where are they at? Brady says, have you ever been recognized in public? I have. And thank you guys. Anytime you guys see me, you can always say hi. I'm down to chat. Like anything, just say hi. If you ever see me in public, which you will, just say hi. Say what's up. Michael says, are you Christian and do you truly believe in God? Are you Christian and do you truly believe in God? Yeah, I do. I do. And let me tell you, I can't listen. I'm not gonna say that like I go to church every Sunday because that would just be a lie, and I'm not gonna lie to you. But and I haven't been to church for many, 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 many years. However, comma, you believe in God that you know when you have certain instances in your life, there's nothing to kind of say this was. Let me backtrack. I've been through many things that I couldn't have pulled out of if it wasn't for God. Okay? I do believe that there is, a higher power looking over us and really have our best interests at heart. And I really do believe that there's some things that, everybody says, well, I went through cancer, so, is there a God? Or my mom died, is there a God? Or this person died and this person took away from you, is there a God? There is. And God puts you through things that, he only will give you things that you can handle. And I feel like that's something that I took with me. I've heard that saying always. And if you weren't able to handle it, he wouldn't hand you that kind of cards, So, I was in a car accident very recently. I believe that I had my guardian angels with me. My mother, my grandfather, like my mom, everybody that has passed on, I truly believe was looking over me. There was the guy that helped us, the tow truck guy, and he was like, yo, like, not for nothing, the way that the car looked, both of you should be dead. I was in an Uber, right? Both of you should be dead. And I said, well, there is a God. And the first thing, I don't know what compelled me to make a video, because I was literally on 95 in Philadelphia, and it's smack dab in the middle, but something compelled me to make a video and say, God is friggin' real, man. And he is. He is. What is your view about what's going on in Israel? Big fan, by the way, and Jesus loves you. Thank you, Cullen. Thank you so much. Here's my thing about Israel. They are an ally to us, okay? I don't believe that what Israel is doing is genocide. Let me explain before the crowd goes crazy. Genocide is wiping away a whole entire race, ethnicity, or group of people. That's not what's happening. When you get shot at and October 7th or something like October 7th happens, how do you expect Israel to go about it? Do you expect them to just sit down and rotate? Because that's not going to happen. And I don't think any civilized nation would do that. You understand? So, I just think that I have to look down the rabbit hole of Israel, because there's so many conspiracies and so many things. And I just have to go down the rabbit hole myself so that I can understand certain things that are going on. But from what I see now, I don't have a problem with Israel. I don't have a problem. Some people will say that Bibi Netanyahu is very evil. I just don't see it. Yeah, that's where I'm at. JD Hernandez says, are Republicans losing the midterms? Is Tallarico winning in Texas? The GOP looks divided. I do think that Tallarico has a little bit of a headway. I do. I understand. Do I think that he's going to win? No, I think that we're going to hold that seat. We're going to be red. We're going to flip that seat. Are Republicans losing the midterms? I would like to say no. I don't know. Do I think that something is going to happen that'll make people wake up to the fact that Republicans are America first? Yes, I think that something's going to happen. I think something happened today when we saw the blockade of the Strait of Hormuz and people are coming to America to get their oil. I think that's something that's on our side. Do I think that Democrats do I think that Democrats will cross over to Republican side for the midterms? No. Do I think that Republicans have to get out and vote? Yes. You have to get out and vote. Has to happen. I never really put emphasis on the midterms because I'm like, oh, whatever. This is a very important midterm cycle. Okay? Very, very important, because we could have crazy Democrat liberals running our House and our Senate. Do we want that? No. They are the decision makers. They are lawmakers. Do we want that ideology in Congress right now? No. As the majority? No. No. So Republicans have to get out and vote. The Save America Act has to be passed. I can't say this enough. Scott Presler is doing the Lord's work, but we legitimately need John Thune to get it together and pass this friggin' act over here and get it passed, okay? Because I can't. And if the Save America Act passes, Democrats have no shot. No, 1965 Black Widow says, no question, just loving the common sense. Thank you. I appreciate you. Nathan says, has President Trump betrayed the MAGA movement and Republican base? No. President Trump has not. Let me explain. Do I think that we're still as America first as we were? Absolutely. Do I think that there's a little bit of a detour? Absolutely. Do I think that he's not doing a really good job at explaining why? Absolutely. I think he really needs to get down to, I know why he went to Iran. He made it very clear. Do I think that he's making it clear for his voter base and MAGA? Maybe not. Do I think that MAGA is listening to people like Marjorie Taylor Greene, Candace Alex? Yeah, absolutely. Do I think that that's necessarily a bad thing? No. But do I think to call President Trump not America first is crazy? Yes. Janet says, why are you so pretty? Janet, thank you. It's a whole lot of Charlotte Tilbury magic cream, I promise you. Jessica says, Jesus loves you. Thank you. Same back to you. Elle says, no question, but I love everything that you do, and happy Easter. God bless America. God bless America is right, my friend. Hambone says, no questions, you're awesome. Thank you. Chris says, you look great here. Thank you. The Lux Leia Studio says, were you always conservative, or was there a moment that changed your liberal views? Well, I was not always conservative. I was not really political, but in my first election in 2016, because I just turned freshly 18 and I can vote, did I vote for Hillary Clinton? The answer is yes. She did a rally at the Fillmore in Philly. I went, and what she has said, what she said on stage was a lot of things that I think, for someone who's an inexperienced voter like I was, and I didn't really know what was going on, do I think that she made a whole lot of sense? Yeah, because she's saying that we need gun control, we need this, and we need this, and just reading CNN headlines pretty much. I'm like, oh yeah, that makes sense. 2020 is when I was a red pill. 2020 is when I really took the time, because there was, Democrats shut down everything. We couldn't do anything. So did I have time to actually look into policy and look into politics? Yes. So at that point, I think, at a lot of time, a lot of people will be liberal, but then we grow up. David says, what can I do as a high schooler to wake people up? Well, first of all, stay in school. College is a choice, but it is a scam. Look into that. Keep talking common sense to your friends. It goes a long way, even though you may think that it might not. It does. And it goes a long way to keep telling people the truth. Do not give in to delusion. Do not settle for less. Ask questions before you say anything. Stay curious. And also in 2026, stay safe. The Dolly Palmer says, what do you think it will take for our fellow gays and lesbians to snap out of their lib ways? Candace has Blexit. Siggy has Jexit. I think we need to start Gexit. I really do. I really do. Why I think the Democrat Party does so well, and I say this every time I talk about the Democrat Party, but what they do is they take a basic human right, okay? And I mean the right of American privilege, because we have American privilege, not white privilege. Remember, what they do so well is they take those rights, wrap it up in a bow, and call it a new right. They're using the gays as pawns. They're using the gays as puppets. And they're trying to pass this transgender ideology that they think that all gays agree with, and we don't. We see past it. Okay? I think the transgender thing, though, has made it easier for gays, because at one point they were calling gay people the, pedophiles and this and whatever. Um, well, now we see that gays are normal and transgenders are not. So that's what I have to say about that. So Gexit coming soon. Why are you so goated, Tay? I wish I could answer that. I don't see myself as goated, but I do see myself as a prideful American who has American privilege and not white privilege. Skincare routine. Listen, my skincare routine. Charlotte Tilbury. I'm telling you something. That Brit has a lot going for her, and I love her. I love her makeup. I love her skincare. I use everything her skincare. I have a little bit of, a little bit of Polish Choice, a little bit of things going on in there, but Charlotte Tilbury Magic Cream Glow Toner and Serum, let me tell you something. It has saved my life. My skin life. See. Tiffany says, do you get backlash from being openly gay and a conservative? 1,000%. The main comment I get is, how do you vote against your rights? But he's trying to take away your rights, Daniel, and how do you vote against that? Nobody can ever answer to me or answer me when I ask them what rights has he taken away or what rights he has tried to take away, because it doesn't exist. See, what the Democrats do is they have this like complex about Republicans, and oh, here comes the boogeyman, and then here comes me, all right, openly conservative, openly Republican, and I break the narrative, and they don't know what to do with it, right? So the love and acceptance party becomes the hateful and intolerant party, and it happens really quick. The same party that will preach, we love everybody, until you have a different opinion, a different, the set of facts, see? They don't like that. So do I get backlash every day? And I'm not stopping. Becca, your thought of state of education in the U.S. as a resigned teacher. Oh, I love that you're a resigned teacher. I love that. Teachers are underpaid. That's what I have to say about that. Do I feel like the education system in America is better off without the Department of Education? Absolutely. It should be a state and local thing, a local entity. I don't think the Department of Education was necessarily good. I don't think we should have federal overreach like that. Why? Because what the government wants to teach your kids, the government will teach your kids. What the government has no say to teach your kids, perfect. Same thing I say about welfare. Once socialism gets too crazy, you're giving the government the authority to starve your kids. When you have the Department of Education, you have certain things. Now, are there like better, are there good attributes to it? Absolutely. But in however, comma, when you give the federal government too much overreach, they will use that. So the education system in America, I think, college is a scam. Charlie Kirk taught us best. Do I think that people need to wake up to the fact that in 2026 you don't need a college degree to get a good job? Yeah, absolutely. Do I think that the education system is indoctrinating our kids? Absolutely. So that's all I got to say on that. Riley says, what are your views on abortion? Well, it's complex. Oh, it's not really complex. I am very conservative when it comes to abortion because I don't. Well, let's start with, we need to know what abortion is. We need to know what it is, right? It is the murder of DNA that is special to that person that will never happen again. Never happen again. Not gonna happen. Once you understand that that DNA is so special to that person that you're actually taking that person and dismembering them, that equals murder. And once we can come to common ground and figure out what abortion is, that's when we can actually sit back and say, you know what? That's a little bit of a problem. Life begins at conception. I'm not just saying it as a talking point. I'm saying it because that's what it teaches. Science too, right? We can go down that rabbit hole too. Do I think that there's any reason to have an abortion? No. No. You can list all of your things that you think that there's a reason to have an abortion. I don't agree. Do I think that bad things happen to people all the time? Yes. Do I think that it's really, really sad? 1000%. Do I think that person should be in jail or given the death penalty? Yeah. That person that did wrong, and I'm talking rape, incest, anything like that. Yeah, absolutely. That person should be in jail, and that person should, probably get the death penalty. Not probably. It's pretty certain. But that doesn't mean that you kill a baby. Now, I'm pro-life, as pro-life as they come. However, and comma, when it comes to laws on the books, when it comes to legislation, I think I lean a little bit more pro-choice in the sense of I don't think the federal government should be telling anybody what to do. That's why I like that it's back in the states' hands. So personally, pro-life and very pro-life and very conservative when it comes to pro-life movement. But however, I'm not a woman, so I can never be one. So I don't, but I know morality. Let's see. Susie says, no question, you're pretty and I love your content. Thank you, Susie. I love you. You guys are so good. Julie says, I hope this isn't rude, but what are people's reaction when you tell them you're gay and MAGA? I love you, by the way. Oh, that's not rude. The first question is always, well, why are you voting against your rights? The second is, well, he's a rapist. The third is, you're Republican. The fourth is, they hate you. The fifth is, pick a struggle. There's a bunch. I don't care anymore because if I'm going to tell you the truth, that's all I care about. I don't want to feed into your delusion. I don't want to be a part of your delusion. And the LGBTQ LMNOP, lipstick and lifting. Oh, I love that. Don't want to be pushy, but if you're talking make wellness, you really benefit with this. Oh, maybe that was something. Yeah. I have a partnership with Make Wellness. I have a link in my bio that, it's been really helping me, guys. I got to tell you something. Make Wellness, they are a supplement company, peptides. My two favorite are the Hydrated and the Fit. They're a little package. You put them in water and you call it a day. The hydration has, all the good stuff in it to make you very hydrated, all the electrolytes and all the things. The Fit helps you build muscle and maintain muscle density. So I've been loving it. I don't want to do a GLP-1. I have a whole live on there with my two girls, and we talk about the GLP-1 thing. I don't want to do a GLP-1. Why? I do know that it's a peptide, but it's a synthetic peptide. I know not about that life. Ruth says, were you born and raised in a Republican family? I live for your content. Thank you, Ruth. My family is not political. We're not really political. We're not liberals. All right? We're not liberals, that I can tell you. But we're not really political. We never really, these last few years, I guess it's been a topic of conversation. And now that I have, social media going on, it's been a topic of conversation. But we were never discussing Obama at the dinner table. We were never discussing, President Trump. We don't really talk about those things. We talk about things, I guess, locally to Philly, because we have jerk-off liberals running it. But, we were never really political. My grandpop was involved in a lot of, civic associations. But, again, he wasn't really political. If he was, he would be a Republican. And if he was alive, he would have voted for Trump. I do believe it. And they couldn't handle him. How'd you get here? What was the catalyst for you? Well, hey, I like common sense. I like low taxes. I like a closed border. I'm pro-life. I like the Constitution. I think we should follow the Constitution. I like free speech. I do enjoy President Trump's mission to bring back the American dream. I think there's one thing that unites all of us, and that's the American flag. I don't think people should be out in the streets looting and rioting and calling it a protest because you think that people are going against your rights. That's how we got here. That's how we got here. Gutsy says, okay, what's the makeup routine? You slay as always, sir. I love your content. First of all, thank you. Second of all, I do have some get ready with me makeup routine content coming. So stay tuned. I decided that I'm not going to post it on the one Instagram that I was talking about. I have a backup Instagram, but that's not going to be for beauty. That's just going to be for what it is. I am going to post it on my own Instagram. And yeah, you're going to see more Danielle coming soon. All right. Carter says, when do you think the left is going to start using their brains? Carter, I've been asking this question for years. I don't know, and I don't know what's going to be the starting point for them. I really don't. And I really don't want to talk down the left because, you know, they're so welcoming to Republicans. And oh, never mind. They're jerk-offs. Gabby says, how do you feel about the war with Iran? We kind of touched on it. It's not a war. It's a military operation. A war has to be two-sided. People that can, you know, get together and actually have a war. Iran has no cards left. Their navy is obliterated. Their military is obliterated. Their intelligence is pretty much obliterated. So they don't really have the upper hand. We have the upper hand. We won. And I think we're doing this for the bigger picture, and that's to defeat China. Alicia says, what's your favorite makeup brand? Your shades are always on fleek. Charlotte Tilbury, till I die. I love her. I really do. And again, she's just one of the best. And then Carly says, what do you think about taxes? Well, that's a very broad question, my friend. Taxes, ever since we've had them, the country has gone downhill. I think we're taxed and taxed and taxed and taxed. The government tries to get every penny they can. I think once we do some hello, I sound like a liberal. Deregulation, and make the government not in all of our pockets, it's better. That's what I think about taxes. The amount of taxes I pay is like crazy. All right, and I still work a 9-to-5 and all the things. I pay so much in taxes, it's actually insane, and I can't. And I think President Trump is gonna have a big hand in, you know, defeating the taxes, especially federal taxes. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Let me try that again. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to another episode of Coffee Talk and Common Sense. I appreciate you guys for all the follows, the likes, the comments, all the things. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, and I will see you guys next week. Bye, friends.